Logan's motto, according to the lore around the character, is, if we can, we must. And you two are sort of representing the captains of industry in the film.
Mm-hmm.
So do you feel like this has been the motto for the industrial age, and that basically the film is looking at how dangerous of an idea that is? We'll start light.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. To keep it simple. Yeah, well, yes, to a certain degree, yeah.
How about for you? I mean, is that something that you sort of thought about in bringing into the character, or?
Yeah, I mean, look, I think it's a double-edged sword, because a lot of this stuff is good and a lot of this stuff can be used towards something good. But I think when humans are involved and when greed is involved and finance is involved, sometimes you can kind of lose your path. And I think, I think that's where it gets really tricky, because I don't think it's just all bad.
Right.
But I think that's what makes it interesting. If you can find who can find that balance.
Yeah. And when your characters, I mean, they have that kind of dynamism as well. I mean, you said she's like a suit who's shedding her skin. And one of the things I loved about the film is that everybody's got this really specific physicality. Can you talk about how you were using the movement to kind of illustrate who Meredith was or who Peter is?
For me, it was kind of unexpected. I wasn't planning on doing this, but the more time I spent with Michael Fassbender and watching how he was walking, we had a lot of loose discussion about, how we made David. Did we make him because we wanted him to be so human and real that we maybe throw in some real DNA, human DNA in there, and then whose DNA was that? And so the more I spent time with him, for some reason that kind of like stuck up, posture, almost translated as an accident, that we were somehow connected, and that it was like some twisted little family. But that's stuff I love. I mean, I come from the world of dance. So for me, telling a story using my body is sometimes way more interesting than talking, and way more important for me.
Yeah. And it really, it communicates a lot about the relationship in a very short amount of time. So we're not giving anything away, but there is the line in the trailer, a king has his reign and then he dies, and that's the natural order of things. So for you, how do you think that you guys are sort of representing these themes of the human moving beyond their natural bounds and kind of getting obsessed with who your maker is and what they want from you rather than just living your own life?
Well, I think, particularly for Peter, he's an incredibly ambitious man, and a man who won't stop at anything to discover, ultimately anything that can possibly be discovered. And I think accepting mortality for him is very difficult, and having to be reminded that a king does have its reign, but his time comes is not really what he wants to hear. I think the idea of meeting his maker and trying to get to the heart of something, which is a question that we all probably have on some sort of level, but for him it's really extreme.
By the way, this is amazing.
Thank you. We just had this done. The decorators have just
Can we
finished.
talk for a moment about what it was like to just be on a freaking spaceship that was built?
It was amazing. I mean, I had a moment where Ridley basically invited me onto my spaceship, and that is like things that you only dream about. I think the sets were what heightened the stakes for me as an actor, especially in the third act when things are kind of going wrong. If we didn't have these walls and these things, I don't know how I could have done it without having them.
Mm.
But how do you not end up for a moment stepping out of your character and just kind of playing spaceship a little bit?
Why do I have to step out of my character to do that?
Yeah.
I think there's a part of me, it's the bottom line is we're a bunch of kids who, we're now getting paid to go and play, and
play in a very expensive playground,
Exactly. I can't take that for granted. That's amazing. So there's a little kid in me every time that I see things like this that just gets me really excited and makes me feel really grateful.
Well, thank you so much. We're really looking forward to seeing this on AMC screens.